Okay, we're gonna do some tamales today. I got some extra venison that a guy gave me. And I like tamales. I grew up in South Texas. Now, I don't claim to make the best tamales in the world, but I do make good ones. And you probably make better ones. And so if you do, if you got any tips, ideas, or suggestions, man, I'd appreciate if you'd put them down in the comments below because I'm always willing to learn more. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy. We got us a couple of venison shoulders today. Some friend of a friend killed a deer and didn't want to mess with the shoulders. And so I told him, well, I'll take them. And normally I'll make sausage or hamburger or chili meat out of them. Today we're going to make some venison tamales. I'll go through the process and show you how I make tamales. First, of course, we got to clean up the meat and get it in workable size portions. We're going to boil it with some pork because venison can be a little dry. And then we'll make tamales. Okay, we got 2 deer shoulders cleaned up, cut up into smaller pieces so we can boil them. I'll throw in this here pork butt to go with them, put a little more fat in there with that lean meat. And of course lots of chilies and onions and garlic. We're on the stove. We got it covered in water. We're gonna cook for hours where it just falls apart, falls off the bone. Of course, we're going to season our water. You need to cook because we're going to use that stock to mix our masa. It's all about layering flavors. Don't just add warm water to your masa. Use this stock from boiling the meat. Flavor your masa. Okay, I'm going to flavor that stock. We're going to 3 kinds of chili. We got chili de árbol, chili ancho, chili guajillo, and of course we got cumin, onion powder, garlic powder, coriander, bay leaves, and salt. All that's gonna go in here, and I'm gonna cook for several hours. So put it on, you bring it to a boil, skim the foam off the top, and we're just gonna let it simmer for several hours today. Okay, now we've been cooked this meat, these 2 venison shoulders and pork butt for about 6 hours. I've got all the meat separated from the bones, as you can see. And then here we got the stock that's left over, reserve stock. We're going to use this stock. We'll filter out all those peppers. We'll grind them up with a mixer, food processor, and add them back to the meat to make our filling for our tamales. The rest of the stock we're going to use to mix our masa with, so our masa will have some flavor too. And anything that we have left over after that we'll use for chili or stew or Mexican rice, whatever you want. But you don't throw that away. That's some good stuff right there. Some gear for making tamales. Now, if you got a mixer and a paddle, it works great for mixing your masa and your lard. But if you don't, I did it for many years with a big bowl and a spoon. And a nice handy dandy contraption for spreading masa. I got the grooves on there. You can use a knife, you can use a spreader, whatever you want. Of course you need masa, bay leaves, comino, chili powder, black pepper, lard, salt, garlic, onions, and of course corn husk for the wrapper. And then I use guajillo, ancho, and arbol chilies when I cook the meat. And then of course there's a lot of work after that. Alright, now we get down to the assembly stage. Here's the stock from cooking all the venison and pork together. See, it's pretty dark because it had all those chilies, seasonings in there. We're going to use that instead of water to make our masa with. Okay, I like my masa to have flavor, not just bland cornmeal or corn flour or whatever they want to call it. So we're going to use this stock to mix our masa, and this is the pork fat or lard that cooked off of the pork that we had in there. It always calls for lard to be mixed with your masa. So we're going to use this flavored lard right here along with some regular lard as we mix our masa. In other words, we're layering flavors here. We flavor the meat, we flavor the stock, we're going to flavor the masa, and we're going to have real tamales here after a while. Chili powder, black pepper, sea salt, and just a touch of baking powder to help them rise. And there's the ground corn flour or masa with the seasonings already mixed in it. I saved the lard off the top of our stock, and I'm going to use that for the lard to mix in the masa, and of course obviously going to use this stock instead of water to mix the masa. So we're putting several layers of flavor just in the masa alone, and then we add the filling. Corn husk. Got the corn husk in hot water so it's getting soft. Look over here to assemble our tamales, and of course here's the tamale steamer. They'll go in there and we'll steam them for an hour and a half. Stay tuned. Okay, first batch loaded, rolled and loaded. Time to steam. We get them up to a boil, let them steam for about an hour and a half, and then let them rest, and then they'll be ready to eat. And we will show you the finished product. Alright, we got them all steamed up, about an hour and a half. Package them a dozen to a package. They're good. I'll cut into one here and let you look what see what it looks like. These are packed with meat, and it's a awesome way to use up some of that deer meat that you don't know what to do with. So we'll look at one. Let's take a look.
Season's favorite gift. Right now, Omaha Steaks is offering a favorite gift package that includes 4 of our famous bacon wrap fillets. This is yours.
Okay. At least 50-50 meat and tamasa ratio. We don't skim. The masa looks a little dark. That's because you remember that stock we used was pretty dark from all the chilies and garlic that we cooked it in. That masa has as much flavor or more than the meat does. Tastes good. You'll have to take my word for it.